Hello, I am Martin and I am going to present about my action figure of Peter Singer today. In the action figure, I included several objects along with Peter Singer. Firstly and most importantly, Peter Singer himself, followed by a green t-shirt with leaves printed on, a basket with a variety of fruits and vegetables, a bike for Peter Singer to ride on, and at last but not least, throne crutches with a Spanish sign. This action figure is named as the utilitarian eco bike set, since Peter Singer is an utilitarianist philosopher who focuses on bioethics as his major field, while the bike is the major component of the action figure, which reflects Peter Singer's ethical decision on practical ethics. At first, I included a green t-shirt with leaves printed on for Peter Singer to wear. Since the color green and the leaves are common symbols of environmentally friendly and environmental protection, and this also demonstrates Peter Singer's explicit advocation or advocating for environmental protection. While t-shirts are cotton-made clothes that are sustainable in supply chain, which causes a minimal harm and damage to the environment, since growing cotton does not emit any toxic substances or harmful substances to the environment. And at the same time, cotton itself does not feel any pain when being picked or being killed. And when cotton is utilized to reform as a t-shirt, and cotton is also a natural res natural resource that are abundant, therefore maximizing the utility by producing a large supply of t-shirts to the market so that Peter Singer in the action figure is capable to wear the t-shirt and the t-shirt complies with his philosophy of utilitarianism in which the least amount of pain and harm is caused along with the utility is maximized throughout the process of the t-shirt production. Moving onwards, the fruits and vegetables, which are plant-based foods, are included in the action figure to reveal Peter Singer's theory of vegetarianism, which vegetarianism is further developed from utilitarianism. Peter Singer advocates for vegetarianism, and this also explains that plant-based foods are emphasized in Peter Singer's eating habits. Similar to clothing production, producing plant-based foods such as tomatoes and carrots, which are illustrated in the action figure, are way easier to produce compared to animal-based foods. Therefore, plant-based foods are richer in supply, and eventually more people and more individuals can consume plant-based foods as their food to satisfy their hunger. And this also maximizes the pleasure for the society and the environment. In contrast, the production of animal-based foods, for example, livestock and pigs, it causes a huge pain to the environment and the livestock itself, especially when the moment the livestock is murdered and killed. Also, growing plant-based foods causes minimal pollution to the environment, but raising livestock emits many harmful substances and greenhouse gases to the environment. Based on Peter Singer's utilitarian point of view, plant-based food production causes the most utility to the society and food supply chain with the least physical suffering to the livestock or animal itself and the environment. Moreover, livestock have a nervous system which causes them to feel pain when they are murdered or they are being beaten. but plants do not have a nervous system, so that plants do not feel pain when they are murdered or killed or being used as foods. Obviously, vegetarianism aligns with Peter Singer's theory of utilitarianism. Instead of consuming meat and animal-based foods in meals, Peter Singer upholds a plant-based diet according to his idea of vegetarianism, as showcased in the basket of fruits and vegetables. Meanwhile, the book Animal Liberation is written by Peter Singer to address animal rights and promote vegetarianism so that the least harm to the environment and to the animals and the food chain is caused by food production. Next, I inserted a bike for Peter Singer to ride on, which reveals one of the practical ethical decisions according to his utilitarian perspective. In Peter Singer's another book, Practical Ethics, he came up with an ethical dilemma of whether to commute by driving a car or riding a bike, in which this ethical dilemma arises in daily life among humans and individuals as revealed as the book title Practical Ethics. According to Peter Singer's utilitarian point of view, Peter Singer would definitely make the decision to ride a bike instead of driving a car, since riding a bike does not cause any pollution and damage to the environment when traveling, but driving a car definitely emits a large amount of greenhouse gases to the environment. Additionally, I included the posture of Peter Singer getting on the bike in order to allow Peter Singer to deliver and promote his ideology and theories of utilitarianism and vegetarianism to a wider range of audience and community. Moving onward, I included the motion of Peter Singer throwing away and discarding these pair of crutches in the action figure. These crutches symbolize disabled and handicapped individuals and the community of the impaired, while the banished sign illustrates the meaning of exclusion. According to Peter Singer's utilitarian perspective, disabled individuals have to be excluded in consideration and they have to be given up for the purpose of allocating more resources to further develop on the individuals who are not disabled or handicapped instead of spending the resources on recovery and rehabilitation for the disabled. Peter Singer refuses the idea of rehabilitation for the disabled through banning the use of crutches, as rehabilitation is considered unethical in his utilitarian point of view. When the resources are raised for rehabilitation, the utility of the resources are no longer maximized. In addition, in the action figure, in order for Peter Singer to be capable of riding the bike, Peter Singer cannot be impaired or handicapped in different means, no matter visually impaired or physically impaired or hearing impaired. Because if Peter Singer is disabled, he will be forced to travel by car instead of riding a bike. Lastly, the action figure of Peter Singer has the superpower of a banished sign launcher. Along with Peter Singer's bike journey of spreading his utilitarian-based ideology, as long as Peter Singer witnesses any behavior that violates his utilitarian ethics, no matter it is a non-utilitarian ethical decision in a practical ethical dilemma, or meat eating, or rehabilitation, or other behavior that does not comply with utilitarianism, a banished sign would be launched to that individual or that group of people to indicate their wrongdoings to the public. To sum up, the Peter Singer action figure contains Peter Singer himself, the T-shirt, the green T-shirt Peter Singer is wearing, along with leaves printed on, the basket of plant-based foods like fruits and vegetables, the bike for Peter Singer to ride on for the purpose of promoting utilitarianism, and these banished crutches with a banished sign here. These objects are all used to illustrate his utilitarian-based ethics in this action figure. And this is all of our presentation. Thank you.